when my older sister grabbed my plate at an expensive 5-star restaurant and told me in front of the entire family that I had no right to eat because I had not contributed a single dollar. I looked at my mother, expecting her to defend me. Instead, my mother laughed and told me that family always comes first, implying that I was supposed to sit there quietly and serve them while they enjoyed an expensive celebration. What they did not realize was that I was the one who had made the initial arrangement and paid the retainer for the entire private dining suite weeks in advance. I slowly wiped my mouth, put on my red coat, and walked straight out of the restaurant toward the valet desk. Within 2 minutes of my exit, the restaurant manager approached their table with official invoice for $9,000 and announced that the host had canceled the payment authorization on her card, leaving my sister and mother staring at each other in complete horror as the reality of their entitlement hit them. For as long as I can remember, my family treated me like a secondary citizen compared to my sister, Chloe. Chloe was always the golden child, praised for every small achievement, while my hard work as a corporate finance consultant was constantly dismissed. Every time our family gathered, my mother expected me to pay for things quietly in the background without receiving any appreciation. When Chloe announced that she was celebrating her promotion at work, my mother insisted that we hold the celebration at one of the most exclusive upscale restaurants in the city, where private dining rooms cost thousands of dollars just to secure. Since I was doing well financially, I decided to handle the booking myself as a gift, paying the deposit and linking my corporate card to cover the full $9,000 custom menu, including elite wine pairings and personalized chef selections for 10 family members. On the evening of the dinner, I arrived on time, wearing my favorite bright red coat, which I carefully draped over the back of my chair. As the waiters began serving the main course, I reached over to serve myself a portion of roasted prime rib. Suddenly, Chloe slapped her spoon against her glass, drew everyone's attention, and loudly declared that I was being greedy. She looked me dead in the eye and said that since I was just an ordinary participant who had not chipped in for the party, I should not be filling my plate before the guest of honor and the rest of the paying contributors were satisfied. I sat there in complete shock, feeling the eyes of my extended family members on me. I turned to my mother, hoping she would put an end to Chloe's public disrespect. But my mother simply chuckled and told me to remember that family comes first and that I should let my sister have her moment without making a scene. At that exact moment, a cold realization washed over me. They did not care about me, nor did they respect the massive effort and financial responsibility I had taken on to give them this unforgettable night. They simply assumed I would swallow my pride, pay the huge bills silently behind the scenes, and allow Chloe to take all the credit while insulting me in public. I did not raise my voice, nor did I start an argument. Instead, I stood up from the table, smoothed down my clothes, put on my vibrant red coat, and quietly buttoned it up. I looked at my sister, nodded once without saying a word, and walked out of the private dining room, heading straight to the manager's office near the entrance. I requested to speak with the general manager immediately and explained that, due to personal disrespect from the party host, I was officially revoking my card authorization and canceling the full prepayment arrangement for the private suite. Because the reservation was held entirely under my name and my primary financial account, the manager complied with my request, processed the cancellation of the prepaid charge, and handed me the final itemized bill of $9,000. I thanked the manager, picked up my handbag, and stepped out onto the street into my waiting ride. Back inside the dining room, my departure was initially met with snickers from Chloe, who assumed I had run away crying. However, less than 2 minutes later, the general manager walked into the private room, accompanied by 2 security officers. The manager approached Chloe, placed the $9,000 detailed bill directly on her plate, and politely informed the entire table that the lady in the red coat had revoked her payment authority and canceled the charge. The room went dead silent. Chloe turned pale, and my mother frantically tried to call my phone, but I had already blocked both of their numbers for the evening. Chloe was forced to split the massive bill across 4 different high-interest personal credit cards, destroying her savings and ruining her night of celebration. By standing up for myself and removing my financial support, I finally taught my family that respect is non-negotiable and that they could no longer exploit my generosity while treating me like dirt. Walking away from that dinner in my red coat was the most empowering decision I have ever made. I realized that setting boundaries with toxic family members is not selfish. It is essential for personal self-respect. If people in your life expect you to pay for their lifestyle while treating you with utter disrespect, you have every right to pull the rug out from under them and let them handle the consequences of their own actions.